And we are not in a party. Whoopsie daisy. Now we are in a party. Welcome all. Good evening. As I have joined to step in for Roswell as he has to go and race in F1. As I'm just putting out the message that we have a stream up. F1 is just starting as well now momentarily. The problem was there's a few restarts here. Oh, here we go, a good restart. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are going to get racing now for round 2 with Q Simon Newton getting away, and Leandro Valverde behind with Regan McKinnon there as well. Doggy Man with a drive-through penalty to start off the races. Adam Bradshaw makes his way up to 6th. Lucas Afraniak and Dan Dale fighting into turn 2 in this 25-lap race. Leandro into the lead. Alex Theodore making his way up to 9th. Lex Hodd, after an impressive showing in F3 last night, now up to 4th position in F2. Amiibo, who had a very dominant display last week, his teammate in the CAC, is currently fighting Samuel Newman further down the field. Let's get a look at the drivers' position changes just to start off. So we see Oceanic Cloth down 5 positions already, and Amiibo and Sparrow down 3. Callum Lyons is down 6. There's a yellow flag already. Oh lordy. The top 2 changing positions as we just saw. Everybody on the mediums apart from Joel, Oceanic and Sparrow. 18 drivers in this 25 lap race. As Leandro just hit the fastest lap of the race with a 1:16.385 for that Sauber team, as Regan McKinnon up to P2. Lucas Afraniak and Adam Bradshaw fighting as Lucas's car is ghosted, so he may be a bit of a wobble there on the exit of turn 2. As they come into turn 3, the Sebastian Vettel corner, very easy to lose the car here as I did last night. As we're riding on board with Adam in his Alpine for this evening. Samuel Newman fighting with Amiibo further down in the field. Lex Hodd fighting with Simon on the exit of turn 5. Or is it 6? Whatever. And so there's more yellow flags coming out now, and that looks to be Samuel who's dropped to the back of the field. Unfortunately for them, Alex Theodore and Dan Dale fighting now as well. Not to be a cloud in the sky just yet. There is word of potentially having rain, as Adam and Joel fighting. Clear from Sainsbury's. As they're on the Casino straight, also known as the back straight, which is probably a bit more fair, into the World Champion chicane that we all know and love and hate at times. As Joel hits it pretty nicely there, it's turns 15 and 16 as Leandro goes fast, and now Regan McKinnon with the fastest lap of the race with a 1:11.940. As we see Adam closing in on Joel, these two have been fighting for the last little while. Lucas Afraniak also sticking with this little pack here, and Alex Theodore as well, who somehow managed to blag his way into the Ferrari for this evening. Less said about the eat, the better. Gok 1, Jenny Canetta, Mr. Cody Heath, and his Aston Martin currently in 11th, fighting with his teammate. What's happened there? Bit of drifting there. Lucas and Alex also fighting out of Le Pringle, the final hairpin in Canada. Lovely track, I think, for racing. I always enjoy it here. I've always had good success here, to be honest, as I think Doggy Man has just gone off again. But, you know, there's always guaranteed a safety cars. Reckon goes even faster now, as loads of drivers will be taking time penalties going through the World Championship game. Yeah, but it just always seems to be chaos here. I don't know why. It's kind of like Monza, I suppose. Monza is a good track. If you play other games like ACC or GT7, Monza's fantastic in those games, but it just doesn't click in the F1 games. I don't know why. Lovely circuits just don't click though. I'm not too sure what it is. But, you know, whatever. Anyway, as Doggy Man's retired in the pits, that will be the end of his day. He got dogged pretty badly as after that he got a massive fart. So down to 17 drivers in F2, and we get a few restarts here as Joel gets very close to the back of Zeman there, and that might just compromise his exit as Adam Bradshaw doesn't look to be gaining though, and Joel a lot more battery as well. And we see F1 Twitter fighting with Sparrow as Adam just at the fastest lap of the race. And we see already 5 drivers with penalties for this race. We're only 5 laps in, 5 drivers with time penalties. And Adam is going to have DRS wide open. As the race begins to settle down now, as we see Sparrow and F1 Twitter fighting yet again, into the Pringle they go, but nothing really happening here. And the rest of the race beginning to nicely settle down here. Sparrow and Manny now, Loic Magene fighting. Oh, as Loic goes quite wide there, hoping he didn't get any damage. He's compromised himself, he's going to lose a few places as a result of that. Further up the field, Leandro Verdade comfortably in P1. Nothing really stopping him at the moment as Regan sitting behind over a second away. Lex Hodd is having a stellar season in this game so far. Dan Dale fighting with Alex Theodore for P8 at the moment. Alex with those time penalties though as well. Lucas Afraniak running quite well in this race. Sparrow is an F1 Twitter fighting again, as he is currently in 6th place now. So, interesting stuff here. Joel Clark, it must be said, is doing very good. Joe Clark closing in on Lex Hodd with those hard tyres, showing that they are not going to be a hindrance to him. Alex and Dan also fighting as well. Regan McKinnon with a 3-second time penalty. It's going to be a disaster for his race. That will put him further down the field. Joe's taking the fastest lap of the race now on the hards. Maybe the hards are already faster than the mediums. Probably pretty unlikely. Maybe he just used all his battery. He hasn't used any of his battery really. Sparrow again and F1 Twitter fighting. Leandro is comfortably now in P1 by over 2 seconds, and he is cruising along. There's a little pack here forming with Lucas at the tail end of it. Then Adam, then Lex, then Joel, then Regan. So all the way from P2 to P6, very close to each other. And then we have Callum Lyons closing into the back of Oceanic Cloth. And he actually makes contact with him there in the exit of turn 8 and 9. Down to Le Pringle, we see Callum Lyons going into the inside line to get a lot of curb there in his Scarlet Red Ferrari. Oh, bit of contact there, but it looks to be okay. So far, so good. Oceanic is going to sit right behind him now. Is he going to make the move? Dan Dale and Alex Theodore yet again fighting. He's going to elect to stay behind now as Alex gets another 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Lucas Afraniak getting very close now to Adam. Closing in at a rapid pace. If he thinks he's faster, he's going to have to look to get the move done quickly because he does not want to waste time in his Mercedes. As we see Regan go awfully wide there in the exit of 3. As Cody, he gets a 3-second time penalty, and there's yellow flags already. No safety car just there. Oh, and his... Oh, Lucas. Curva. And he is all the way down to 11th now, and he's probably going to lose to Sparrow as well. He's old teammate from last season. That puts all the drivers so that were in front of him, up a position. Or sorry, below him, up a position. Regan also had a nasty spin there, down to 6th after being in 2nd for so long. That puts Joel Clark in P2. Lex Hodd, you should not be in F3 if you were doing this well. He's developed all this pace out of nowhere. This game must really, really suit his driving style. Lex is going to have DRS and is gaining here on Joel on the start finish straight. As we see Regan into the pits, he must have had wing damage from that unfortunate spin of theirs. The Scotsman. As we're into lap 9 and 17 laps to go. As Adam Bradshaw now, the latest driver to get a time penalty. 6 now in total. And Leandro now nearly 3 seconds the difference. Lucas Safraniak with another time penalty. There's the amount of drivers here. We have 8 drivers with time penalties now. Lot to be asking questions of. But Lex and Adam sticking with Joel for the moment. Alex, Theodore and Dan Dale, who've been fighting non-stop here the last while, are looking to keep fighting here. As Danny's got a lot of curve there. I might compromise his exit. Doesn't seem to be. Oh! Alex did his best to mow the grass. Oh, he's not going to be too happy about that. As we see Cody Heath now taking centre stage to fight Mr. Danda. Oh, is Cody Heath at a big moment? Oh, God. As Lucas gets a 10 seconds time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. And looking at here. No, oh, he's missing like 3/4 of his wing. It's good to see they've added a bit more damage, visual damage to the front wing this game. As opposed to last year's game where it was just either all or nothing, apart from the end plates. So he's going to have to go into the pits and get that changed. Hopefully the VSC stay there long enough for him to benefit from it. So, do the medium runners pit now? That is the question. Does Joel pit now? Is Joe planning to go to the end? Planning to go into soft, sorry. Later on in the race. If you're the medium runners and you plan to go into the hards, now would seem like the opportune time to do so. As Callum, Lucas and Amiibo have all done so. No call yet for us to get back racing. If you are just tuning in, welcome. Leandro Valverde, our leader, has entered the pits along with Lex Hodd as DRS is enabled. So those drivers who are after pitting are actually not going to benefit from this at all. And I think this actually plays into the benefits of Joel Page. Here's because if he has a chance to pull away, now is it. Does he go long? Does he go a few more laps longer than he should just to get that extra bonus about being on the softs for the end of the race? Will he lose too much time from staying on the hards too long? As Adam Bradshaw now, less than a second away with that time penalty. All the drivers have penalties nearly down the end apart from Sparrow and Adam. And speaking of Sparrow and this F1 Twitter guy have been fighting this whole race. And so riding on board of the hats. As Alex Theodore gets another 3-second time penalty, I'm not going to check him, he's got this point. As Lex now and Loic Magene or Magne are fighting. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name exactly. Look, there's a bit of a lock up there in the rear wheels. Seems to be reasonable. Okay. Bios with DRS, they're going to look to make his way back up the field. Oh, and he's almost tagged there into oblivion. Has to be a bit cautious there in the exit as the Haas is a bit of a wobble there. Almost taking out the V-car, but Sparrow might be under the yellow flag in sector 1 as Samuel Newman has now gotten a 3-second time penalty for track limits. A bit more chaos ensuing here as we see as Loic, Regan, as Sparrow's on the wall, unfortunately. Well, they looked like they were stuck, so Has to be careful there. Maybe they have rear wing damage. Well, the majority of the field now seem to have penalties. I do think Sparrow's got wing damage. That or their tyres are absolutely screaming. Number 2. Well, a lot of clouds beginning to form, so maybe Joel knows something that we don't. Maybe there's rain coming. And if so, the whole field will have to pit again to go into the intermediates or wets. Joel nearly 5 seconds clear of Zeman Iwanik. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, sir. As Mr. Adam Bradshaw is closing down on Zeman. As a yellow flag in sector 3. Adam up to P2 now, as we speak. As Loic gets another time penalty here. So from P9 to P17, all the penalties. That's 2, 4, 8, 9 drivers there. So 10 drivers out of our remaining 17 at penalties. So Adam, as Amiibo now is DNF'd, he's lost the car. Is that going to bring out the safety car, or is he just retired in the pits? He's retired in the pits. Interesting enough from them. So it will not be the kick domination that we saw last week in Silverstone in round 1. And Lucas Safraniak fighting with Callum and Samuel Newman. Zeman Iwanik getting back ahead of Adam. A bit of a shaky exit out of the World Champions. Is Adam going to be able to come back at him here? I don't think so. I think he's going to have to play foil just for a little while longer and just stay behind. As now there's more yellow flags in sector 3. Seems to be a bit of chaos in the Pringle. Samuel Newman having a bit of a wobble there. And Cody Heath, maybe they came together. We will not know until later on if there's reports or not. As Regan now is fighting with his teammate F124, getting cleanly past him with the assisted DRS. Loic into the pits as Newman now at a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Samuel hasn't had enough for today. He's retired from this race. Dan Dale comfortably running in 5th here. One of the few drivers without a penalty. Having a nice little go of it at the moment. Lex Hodd, who started off so strong, is now in P7, though a lot of drivers in front of him have not pitted. Oceanic, Dan, Adam, Sebon and Joe. Kind of in a weird part of the race now where if there is a safety car, the hard runners kind of are left out to dry. It's the freshly pitted hard runners because they've given up track position to pit. And now if a safety car comes out, they're probably going to have to pit again to go into the softs and the mediums, otherwise they'll just be too slow. As Callum and Lucas fighting further in the field, but Callum cuts the chicane to get past Lucas by the looks of it. But here comes Mr. Safraniak, indeed, up to P11. On the inside line of turn 1, around turn 2 he goes, bit of curb, but that looks relatively okay. Now over 7 seconds is the difference here between Zeman and Joel. Those hards are really, really running well still for him. Now the interesting thing is if the rain is coming, which it looks like it might be, yellow flag in sector 1 now. What's that? It looks like there's another V-carb around. That must be Sparrow. Sparrow might have rear wing damage. We'll find out later on. Joel's still holding out for the rain, I think. If there's going to be any. Leandro and Adam are fighting now. Into the World Champions chicane they go. As Adam actually makes a little bit of contact with it, a little bit of a kiss. Leandro on those fresher hard tires up to P3. Alex and F124 fighting. Lex Hodd is into the pits. He's had enough of the hards. What is he sticking on? He's sticking on the inters. So it is indeed going to be raining. Lex, the first driver brave enough to change compounds here. Oh, what's this going to bring now? Is this going to bring a cascade of drivers pitting? Is it raining? I can't really see from that angle. It looks like it actually is starting to spit down ever so slightly. So the interesting thing is here, Has Joel made a masterclass move in not pitting? Same with Zeman. And Zima having a bit of a wobble there, and that's going to compromise him against Leandro as they're on the run down to the Pringle. Yes, this current turn is called Le Pringle. Or at least that's how I pronounce it. Now, it is really starting to rain, but not too heavy just yet. No wet line just beginning, no wet line forming at the moment. We see Zeman and Leandro fighting into the last few turns as Leandro stays out, Zeman pits, Adam pits. We're going to see who made the right decision here. DRS has still enabled. Dan Dale also into the pits. They're all going to be sticking on the intermediates unless some kind of error occurs. Regan McKinnon also electing the pits. So the top three haven't pit yet. Now if you're Joel, I think you really should be looking to get into those pits ASAP as it's going to start to get very... It's already very slippy out there. And those weathered hards just aren't it. As Lucas Franiak now has elected to stay out as well. Interesting decisions all around. There's a lot of drivers now into the pits to change tyres to Ferrari. It's going to be double stacking. That's never fun. I'm assuming we'll see Joe straight into the pits here along with Leandro. How much time have they lost though? That is the question. To the runners behind them, as they've elected to stay out another lap. Is it dry enough at the moment? Well, there's your answer there. As we've done 17 laps now of this 25 lap race. Alex and Cody Heath fighting for P10 at the moment on the track. Joel into the pits, Leandro naturally enough following suit into the pits. Both drivers making that 80km speed limit. Oceana Clough also into the pits. Now, can Zeman get ahead of them all? That is the main question here. Does he have enough juice in the tank? It'll be close with himself and Joel, I think, as Lucas Safraniak gets a 10-second time only for speeding the pit lane. He's doing from bad to worse as he retires. Now, Joel has managed to keep the lead here, and Leandro has managed to just stay ahead of Zeman as well. Okay, as Ken T has also gotten a 10-second time penalty. So all the strategies have been neutralized now with the rain. Leandro, who was so dominating last week in Silverstone, as DRS is now officially disabled, which means the crossover has happened to wet tyres. More yellow flags in Sector 1. For what we do not know just yet. This game just loves to flash that with a yellow flag marker. So Joel now had a 7-second lead. Now it's only down to 3. Zeman staying with Leandro though. There's no DRS, so it doesn't really matter. You'll get a bit of a slipstream, which apparently is broken in this game, but we'll see. We are down to 7 drivers with penalties now, so only half the grid. Well done, everybody. This is another yellow flag in Sector 1. I think that's Sparrow again. I think Sparrow has some pretty bad rear wing damage. That's where I lost the car last night, actually. Cost me a chance of the win in F4. And now Zeman is closing in on Leandro for P2. Joel, oh, really starting to pull away. Nearly 3 seconds is the gap. So good stuff from them. Further down the field, nobody else making any massive gains. So we will stay with these two drivers as this seems to be the main fight on the track at the moment. Regan is closing on Lex Todd, but he does have a time penalty. Even still with the intermediate tyres, still little wobbles and shakes happening here. Driving in the wet can be ever so tricky in this game, especially without traction control. He's even getting a great exit out of the Pringle there, recovering what's going to be at least 3/10. Third of a second after that, maybe even more. Is he using the battery? He's not. With a slight advantage. He recovered half a second there. As Joel gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That's a disaster for him. After having being so dominant for the last while, now to go and do that is really spoiling his dinner. What could have been his first win in ERO. Oh, God. Well, he's going to have a bit of work to do now, and the ball is now firmly in Leandro Verdade's court as we go into lap 20 of 25. Just a handful of laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Now that gap is really coming down as well. Leandro seems to be able to control the car on the wet just that ever so slightly better than Joel. Maybe Leandro's setup was more orientated towards the wet than Joel's. Plenty of factors in play here. Zeman staying with Leandro, but just about. As it stands, though, it'll be Leandro first, Zeman second, then Joel in third, with that time penalty. Disaster for him. As Callum Lyons and F1 Twitter are now fighting for P10 on the track. Now this gap staying around between 1.5 and 2 seconds. Regan McKinnon and Lex Hodd going to go side by side into the Pringle. Lex on the inside. Who's going to get the better exit as long as enough space is given, and it is. Regan using his DRS. So is Lex. Both drivers drag racing down to turns 15 and 16. Lex is going to have the inside line. He's just going to fall behind into formation behind Regan, and that's the end of that skirmish for now. However, Leandro, as we go back into the front, Sparrow gets a 3-second penalty, has closed down the gap by about half a second now. It seems Joel is really struggling in these wet weather conditions because there's a yellow flag in sector 1 again now. I think that Sparrow is just been lapped, unfortunately for them. And now Leandro, within a second here, Joel really needs to get a move on if he has any chance of winning this race. Though those hopes and aspirations seem to be fleeting corner by corner ever so little. Adam Bradshaw, who showed some good pace before the rain, is now stuck in P6 as another yellow flag in sector 3. I think that's Sparrow again sliding off. They're going to be getting blue flags. Leandro within 3 tenths here against within Joel for the lead of this race. Has to be very careful not to get any penalties at this point. Doesn't want to lose it now after working so hard here. He's right on the back of Joel's gearbox here, and Zeman is there and about with them too as well. As Regan and Adam are now fighting into turn 1. Regan getting the move done. Both drivers using a lot of their battery up for that. Dandale just chilling by himself in P4 at the moment. Just admiring the Canadian view as Alex Tidor gets another 3-second penalty. Let's have a look at the penalty, shall we? So we got Joe with 3, Regan with 3, Adam as well. Loic Magene also with 3 seconds. Then we have Callum Lyons with 6, Sparrow with 9, Alex with 12, sorry, Callum with 9, and Kenty, I think that's Cody Heath with 16 seconds. Callum, well, looks like Callum's with a bit of a wobble as well. And I want to see who's at the fastest lap. Joel has currently set the fastest lap, and that probably won't be improved on in the wet conditions. As Sparrows went on to the softs for some reason. Now, are we going to see a move here for P1 on the track? Not in this time. But Leandro is very, very close to the back of Joel here. Almost sniffing his diffuser. That's kind of wrong. And Zeman also staying with them. You can see Joel just sliding through the corners. They're making a bit of a kiss with that wall as well. Ever so slightly. And you can just see why now these times won't improve, because Leandro's 3 seconds off his personal best time. Hello, Joel Harris, true streamer boy. And here we go. Leandro Valverde going to make the move into turn 8. Gets it done before the braking zone. Very cleanly done there. But Joel Clark is not giving this up just yet. As Callum Lyons has lost the car. Oh, he's retired now from the session. Into the dive bombing area we go, which is Le Pringle, the hairpin. You see a bit of argy-bargy there. Zeman now getting past Joel as well. And just like that, Joel going from P1 all the way down to P3 in a matter of 2 or 3 corners. Just like that. Now it's a battle for the win here as Lex and Adam are fighting further down the field. And they're going to have a drag race down the casino straight to chicane. 2 laps to go as we enter lap 24 of 25. Can Zeman Egonik get his first win in the Aero over Leandro Valverde? Hold on for another convincing win here. He's been very, very good all race yet again. As Oceanic Cloth now is the latest driver to join the party of penalties as Joel has left the session. That's a disaster for them. Let's get him back in. Where is he? Oh no, this is a disaster for Joel. You've got to feel for him here because he's done so well this whole race. Now to drop down the whole way down here. He's going to get overtaken by Oceanic as well. He'll probably hold out against Regan McKinnon, but that's a disaster. Anyway, staying further up the front here. Zeman and Leandro. Daniel's going to be... Oh, he's getting... Joel's actually back. Good, good. Well, he has a chance to make up some places. And here we go into turn 1 for the lead. Oh, there's a bit of contact there with the rear wheel of the kick on the left-hand side. Zeman's going to have the inside line here. Who's going to get the better exit, though? Leandro holding on for now as these two are going to go tooth and nail to the finish line. It's going to be nothing between them. Zima has a big wall there, and as I say that, that is all she wrote for this race by the looks of it. As we see Sparrow's car. Oh, Zeman had his chance there. He got a bit greedy trying to squeeze as much as possible as he could. You got a feel for Joel here though. Because he's done so good all race. Now to just drop down P5 to P5 quite sheepishly as well. And he was guaranteed at least P3. But anyway, that is racing, unfortunately. That is the nature of the beast. And Lex Hod is going to get a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Maybe our last one of the day, who knows. As we only have 4 drivers who do not have a penalty. But it will be the Portuguese driver in the kick who crosses the line, winning here in Canada, round 2, season 13, as he does a bit of weaving to celebrate. It's Leandro Valverde, followed by Zeman Iwanek. Then it'll be Dan Dale to cross the line in P3, gifted that podium by a Joel Clark DC. Oceanic Clock comes in P4, Joel comes in P5, Regan McKinnon in P6, Adam Bradshaw gets a 3-second time penalty just for good measure. Then it's going to be Lex Hod in P7, Adam in P8, Alex Theodore in P9. I wonder how many penalties he got. Still 12, okay. As we have a bit of racing here towards the line as the last 2 drivers here, F1 Twitter and Cody Heath. Is Cody going to get him at the line? No. 10-second time penalty unserved added onto your race. And then we just have Loic, our last driver of the day, to cross the line. And that will wrap up F2. F1 is currently going on at the moment. I do not know if we have a stream for it. We'll try and find one for you ASAP. Just the drivers on the grid, on the podium there. Congratulations to you. So just to round out our provisional standings before Stewart investigations: Leandro Valverde P1, Verdade P1, Zeman Iwanek P2, Dan Dale P3. That rounds out your podium finishers: Oceanic Cloth, Joe Clark, Regan McKinnon, Lex Hod, Adam Bradshaw, Alex Theodore, and F1 Twitter round out the top 10. Cody Heath and Loic Majane round out the 2 drivers who will get points. Or maybe F1 Twitter is Cody. I don't know. Whoever's Cody. Sparrow Maltby was lapped. Callum Lyons, Lucas Afreniak, Samuel Newman, Amiibo, and Doggy Man all did not finish. Disastrous day for the Mercedes boys. Unfortunately for them. Ah, that's my EA name. Okay. Tune in next week where we'll be at the Mystery Grand Prix, where it's spin the wheel unless you're an ERO donator, and you will not know until you are in the lobby. Thanks very much for watching. Have a lovely